Russian government is making some pretty major claims tonight.
Russian air defenses, Melissa, did say that they shot down a UFO. This was reportedly shot down in the Rostov area near the Ukraine border. And it claimed the skies over Kyiv were swarming with unidentified flying objects.
Trinity, RedOrBluePill. HiHoKermitTheFrogHere. Come with me, and you'll see a world of USAF, CIA, Lockheed, Skunk Works. Don Phillips was in the Air Force at Las Vegas Air Force Base during an event when the UFOs were seen moving at enormous speeds near Mount Charleston.
At all. How I came to learn of that NATO report, the research report of late 50s, 60s, the Cold War was beginning, and there were ships, flying craft, intruding upon the Russian space, or shall we say the communist space. And then there was flying craft intruding upon our space, and we each was blaming the other, and in doing so, we were ready to push buttons, and we came very close to pushing the buttons that would annihilate perhaps both sides, especially in the war zone, or in that close proximity zone. And before the buttons were pushed, there was a secondary type of control where we call it human reason. It's something that machines can't do.
In the 1950s and 1960s, NATO did research on the origin of these ET races.
And said, wait a minute, it's happening to both sides. Something is unusual here. Maybe we should do some research and then do a report, because we still have the weapons, we can still push the buttons, and thus the report. That was the reason for the report. It was because of the unidentified craft encroaching on one another's airspace. It turned out it was both same unidentified craft.
So, could it be that what happened back in the 50s and 60s, and now what's happening as far as the Pentagon investigating potential UFO sightings, receiving hundreds of new reports in 2022? The AARO doesn't only study objects in the air. The military's definition of a UAP, or UFO, was recently expanded to include objects in the air and sea, as well as transmedium objects. Objects are devices that observe to transition between space and atmosphere, or between the atmosphere and bodies of water that are not immediately identifiable. The AARO's work is particularly interested in the roundish oblong shapes with apparent flight control surfaces that seem to bounce around and change course very quickly in a way that they would not have been able to maneuver in their own aircraft, or certainly keep up with.
That was the reason for the report. It was because of the unidentified craft encroaching on one another's airspace. It turned out it was both same unidentified craft. And so it led to some very interesting information about civilization, how it occurred here on planet Earth, that these races have been present for a long time, and perhaps they're referred to as some of the wise ones that we know about that help educate and help train people here. Having been employed working for the CIA and being trained as an observer, there was when you observe something and you follow the pathway, you follow it back to its source. I was studying some information, following the pathway on some information that had to do with extraterrestrial visitation and how real was it. That's how I came to know of the NATO report. But it was also through the military channels. I had to make some phone calls, and I did. Since then, if we were willing to talk about it. We worked with the Central Intelligence Agency as contractors. That was during the time of the Skunk Works.
So what do you think about the truth about alleged UFOs in the 1960s and 50s? Do you think there's a connection to what the conflict is going on right now? History repeating itself. With everything going on with NATO, Antarctic Treaty soon to be up, and the land grab there, are we fighting each other? Or could there be things that we are not being told? It says, over the years, the Historical Office has been asked many times for a copy of this alleged top secret report by SHAPE. By the 1960s, assessing the threat posed by UFOs to NATO. A retired U.S. Army Sergeant Major named Robert O. Dean has frequently claimed in speeches and internet postings that while stationed at SHAPE, S-H-A-P-E, in the mid-1960s, he read a highly classified document with the title, The Assessment and Evaluation of the Possible Threat to NATO Forces in Europe, which studied all aspects of the existence of UFOs and the potential threat that they posed to NATO. Idea of how widely such claims have circulated. Just put the words assessment, UFOs, SHAPE, and NATO into any search engine and see how many thousands of hits you get. They have analyzed these claims in detail, including photographed alleged to be of the front cover of the assessment, and concluded that the cover-up page is a forgery and that SHAPE prepared no report on UFOs during the 1960s. What do you believe? Some say that without a doubt, dismiss this conclusion as part of some long-standing cover-up of the existence of UFOs. If you want the complete historical office analysis of the alleged 1964 SHAPE assessment of UFOs, go to the historical document section and see what the historical records show. Thank you so much for being here and watching till the end. This video was not very long, and I'm so glad you made it to the premiere. Or if you're watching again after the premiere, please comment below. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think about these reports coming out? Do you think it has anything to do with what's being seen over in the conflict areas? And does it have anything to do with history repeating itself? I don't know. Maybe the truth is still out there. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Humongous hugs, high fives, and good vibes. Trinity, RedOrBluePill, Hi-Ho, Kermit the Frog here. Come with me, and you'll see. Oh.